everyone. Thank you for bearing with us while we ran off to take our break. I hope everybody is having as much fun tonight as I am. I am eternally grateful to the role players I get to play with on a weekly basis because they're so talented and they make me cry and laugh at the same time. So far tonight, our heroes have been split up. Sophie took Bowman to the palace in Evermore, where he met an adorable chipmunk named Greg, who may or may not be the Gruck of this universe, and started a therapy session with Dr. Door, while Sophie went upstairs to go handle some other stuff. Mortis and Nick traveled the crossroads, finding it to be a bleak and quote-unquote lifeless landscape, even compared to normal, and headed off to Embouchure, Louisiana, to a spear prison, which is the headquarters, the home base of Project Freedom in this universe. Mortis and Nick found files on a number of different people who were held here, including Captain Squid, Manta Ray, Medea, Downtime, and they formed a plan to go and cause some havoc there. And the other group, aboard the Fox plane, had a number of different conversations. Centuria spoke to Velocitus, the death race of this universe, expressing that Overdrive is a good person back in her dimension, and wishing that he had had a father like Velocitus instead of the father that he had. The two Gatormen exchanged notes about their respective pasts, including the unfortunate attack that this Gatorman suffered at the hands of the Stormfront, and Keone stabbing him many times in his poor scaly body. And Resonant spoke with the Arctic Fox about a number of different things, including some of the history of the world, as well as his personal philosophies on how to be a leader, and maybe if there's a way to kill a Centuria. Arctic Fox doesn't know of a way to kill a Centuria, but he was hoping Resonant might, but Resonant doesn't roll that way. After which, Resonant and Centuria had a nice conversation and did a meditative ritual to travel off into the cosmos to track down any trace of Adrian Eldritch in this dimension. Their search led them to the halls of Genesis, and particularly to Toman the Archivist's archive, which is a location that they have been to in their own universe, where they encountered the source book, and they traveled through a bunch of different literary stories the last time they were there. If you want to include that in the previously on Freedom Week Dark video roll, that'll be good. But our heroes have arrived at the Arctic Fox's safe house in Vietnam, relatively safely. But we will start again with Sophie and Fletch. Sophie has come to collect Fletch from the door. Bowman, how did this go? Do you want to narrate a little bit for your session with Dr. Door?
I mean, he's probably like mid-sentence when Sophie comes back, and he's just like, and no, now that I'm the only Bowman left, I have to set a good example because now I have to worry about a sidekick. And I don't know what to do with that.
I believe that you are going to be the kind of mentor and father that you always knew that you could be. And that the challenges of parenthood will be nothing to you except one more obstacle to overcome. And what do Bowmen do?
They overcome obstacles.
That's right.
This was actually really helpful.
I'm glad I could help you get a handle on your issues. They shoot bows.
They shoot bows. They always hit their targets.
All of that is true. Sophie, you see, has taken off her cloak and has replaced it with sort of a simple fit garb of some kind of velvet. She says, I've handled the stuff up above. Do you want to head back?
Yeah, we should get going. Is that what you're wearing into combat? I don't think this is going to be just a normal trip back home.
Oh, no, I suppose not. I can change when we get there.
Fair enough.
It might not be for action figures, but I can change my costume pretty quickly.
Hmm.
And she pushes the button on your chest that changes you to Arctic Assault Bowman.
I only do that when it's necessary.
Oh, sorry. And then she pushes the button that turns you into Stealth Bowman.
You know where these all are.
You know, it's weird. You keep the clasps and buttons on your costume in the same place the other Bowman does.
Hmm.
And her finger sort of lingers on your chest for a moment.
He will look down and then take a careful step back. We should get going.
Yeah, we probably should. And you notice there are like a couple of like adorable cartoon critters looking around the corner to see what's going to happen.
And they're just going, as he steps back, they just all go, "Aww."
Yes.
Just shoot him a bow glare.
They scurry out of the way.
Good.
A bow glare.
The more time you spend in this dimension, the more that bow glare actually becomes a pair of bows in your eyes.
Just saying, you might actually shoot them a blowgiller.
Excellent. And she coughs and steps back herself and says, "Yeah, sorry, that was inappropriate."
Sophie, we're probably going to be feeling things we shouldn't feel about people we shouldn't feel them about. We just need to look past it for now.
Yikes.
And she
Mm.
nods and says, "As you wish."
For what it's worth, I would have preferred to meet this you version of you.
I feel the same way. Then she sort of subconsciously like turns around and her cloak comes back down from the sky and covers her up.
And
So,
he's going to
Vietnam.
just focus on work. Yeah, that's where they were headed.
Dr. Door, keep an eye on Bogatyr. Don't let her do anything crazy or Russian. I don't know what Russia is, but I am here to help. And Sophie will open a portal that will take you to the landing fox plane, not the bow plane.
He stole my plane.
It became mine when you shot an arrow at my plane. I haven't forgotten.
The Soviet North remembers.
The Soviet North always remembers. Meanwhile, across the world in Louisiana, Mortis and Nick, it is drawn down to after 5 p.m. The administrative staff has made their way out for the day, and there's still guards around, obviously, but they seem to be winding down into watch the place for the evening instead of keep an eye out for the administrative staff sort of rounds.
Cool. With that, I will look over at Nick and go, "Well, it's showtime." And start kind of humming under my breath. I was a little nervous, have it. A little Judas Priest, and shall we? Because we have to go down, right?
Which song are you singing?
Breaking the Law.
Nick sort of looks at you and he says, I don't think those are the words of that song. You're singing Upholding the Law, right?
Nope, not where I come from.
Oh. That's not a Steely Dan song? Down.
I'm
It's
not gonna hold that against you. It's not your fault. Um, let's go. And I'll reach out and grab his hand, and we'll go ghost mode and just fall through the floors to the basement.
Excellent. Give me a stealth check.
Inspector Gadget. I don't know why that's stuck in my head, but it's stuck in my head, so everyone else has to suffer too. So.
Natural segue from Judas Priest. Yep.
Come on.
Do
Yeah.
breaking the law.
Curse you, Judas Priest.
Maybe if it wants to actually roll.
Come on, roll 20. We're on the clock.
Assume success and move on. You got this.
Not 20. Cool.
Yep.
Get a real die and roll it.
So bizarre. I'm gonna carry the sheet again and see if it's. I clicked it like 3 times, so I think it's just my connection, maybe.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say I keep seeing people dropping out and coming back in to roll 20. So there it goes.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
21.
21's pretty good.
Yeah, not all of us cranked everything to the max possible bonus, like President.
I've rolled one.
It
dice.
made sense.
I have rolled 1 dice today, and it is a natural 1.
Yay!
That's what you get for rolling a die.
This might be the only dice I roll in the whole session.
Thank you, Louisiana Public Schools, for in this universe for.
Man, those prison guards ain't no good at their job.
They're paid to look the other way.
Well, they are looking the other way. You and Nick make your way down into the records room, and you are free to rummage about to your heart's content.
Rummage.
Give me an investigation check. And I'll give you a +5 circumstance bonus for Nick helping.
Yay. All the help I can get.
And Nick's dad backseat investigating.
Awkward. $26 with the bonus.
That's with the bonus?
Yeah.
Perfect. As you're poking around, you do find information. You find out that the current Project Freedom are all being stored in Alpha Block. And there are 2 other members of the team that were not mentioned in the dossiers above. So you have Captain Squid, Manta Ray, Medea, Downtime, Orion the Hunter, and Professor Ape are the current members of Project Freedom.
Sweet.
The people being held in Beta Block are not quite as powerful as Alpha Block, but they are. There are a couple of people worthy of mention. You see that Sandstone is currently locked up there, as well as the Rubber Bandit, and I have one more person in my notes. Who is it? The Fearmaster. And Omega Level has 2 individuals in it at the moment. The Omega Block is the home of Argo and Lady Lunar.
Someone's that moonstone. I mean, no, sorry.
What's a Lady Lunar?
Man, somebody in Guardians of Haven's probably really excited about that.
I don't know which one it is.
Obviously, Flint.
Ooh.
That's Uncle Flynn to the twins.
Ew.
Editor note: see Guardians of Haven stream. Issues, all of them. Cool.
Flynn did become a queen consort, but not for the right queen.
Yuck. Sorry, Alara.
With that, yeah, and what's this project called here? It's obviously not called Project Freedom here.
No,
Is it-
it's called Project Tyranny here.
Yes, it is. Um,
Does Mortis have expertise supervillain?
he does.
Will you
He's
roll
got
that for me?
he's got a cult supervillain and a cult supervillain and hero villain.
I'll let you roll an occult supervillain check. It's sort of a general. I mean, this is one of the most famous villains in the setting, so it probably spills in.
14.
Mortis would know that Argo is bad news. At least in your dimension. Argo is an android that is able to replicate all of the superpowers of the Freedom League and any other superpowered individual that it comes into contact with. It used to be an agent of Talos. It was created by Talos, but it broke free after becoming a super genius and becoming the most dangerous creature robot in the universe.
Yeah. Well, I had planned on leaving him alone because that just sounds like trouble no matter what.
Hmm.
The other trouble might be trouble, but it might be trouble I can kind of point in the right direction. Especially since I see Medea's on the team. Maybe that's going to backfire and blow up in my face, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So, let's go have a jailbreak, shall we?
Perfect.
And realize I'm still holding Nick's hand and let go awkwardly.
He looks a little sad that you let go.
You guys are falling into all the same traps as Centuria did last season.
Well,
I hope this happens in every dimension.
So, I think that's up to the GK Master. So,
That is
so yeah, since we are, is the record room in the basement?
it is.
We use the basement to get across. If that means we have to phase through some of the earth and stuff, if it doesn't actually connect over, that's probably the best way for us to do it without having to worry about guards and stuff like that to get to the other building.
Benefits of being a ghost.
Yep.
So
Welcome
yeah,
to-
Mortis and Nick, you are free to phase through the earth and head over to which cell block are you heading to?
Alpha.
You head to Alpha Block, and sure enough, as you come up out of the ground and in the center of the cell block, you do see that each of the members of Project Tyranny are held in individual cells. They are currently all in prison grays, and there are no guards in the middle of the detention block. Looks like there is a security station on an upper level that looks down into the cell block, but you don't see any people walking around in the exact vicinity where you are. There are cameras around.
Given that I spent some time in a version of this somewhere in the universe, is my assumption correct that the cells are tuned to inhibit the powers of the person it's holding, or are they just in tune to inhibit powers, period?
Looks like they're in tune to inhibit powers, period.
Which means we won't be able to just to phase through them. Well, before we even let them out, let's go see if we can chat.
Okay, so
You're hope is a blind spot.
You're going to appear before somebody. Who are you going to appear before?
Medea, he said.
Oh,
Medea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's given everyone that's the best solution.
Well,
Best
Medea
option.
is laying back on the prison cot. Um, there is sort of a pulsating red energy field that forms the wall of the cell that leads out into the hallway. She looks like she is reading from a copy of Jane Eyre, and she is just lounging, just relaxing.
So, take us a deep breath. I we need to talk. Don't freak out, please.
You're
You're
back.
back.
Am I back?
We heard everything very fast.
Yep.
Oh, okay. She looks up at you, Derek, very annoyed, and puts her bookmark into her copy of Jane Eyre and sits it on the bed beside her and comes over to the energy wall. Says, "What can I do for you, Derek?"
This is gonna bite me in the ass or work really well, but I needed to cause problems for me. Well, another version of me.
She arches an eyebrow. Another version of you? Was this like a Cersei turned somebody into somebody sort of thing?
Sort of, I walk between worlds, and I'm here to cause problems for the one that lives here normally.
Prove it.
In my world, you and me get along. We
Well,
go to gay bars together.
in my
You're gonna-
world, we did get along until you locked me up in here.
You're going to be in my wedding in my world, and I'm marrying Nick in my world. And Hades is still alive.
You're marrying that little twink guy? And Nick, like, gasps around the corner. Are you sure, Derek? You could snap him like plywood.
And in my world, I'm one of the good guys. Because
Good
everything's flipped in my world.
Well, you just want me to, what, just start yelling down here?
No, well, ideally, I'm going to try to, hopefully, I want you to talk the rest of the team into causing problems for the Tyranny Syndicate. And look over at Nick like, did I get that right?
He gives you a thumbs up.
My plan is to break the group of you out and just let you go. Do what you do, which is basically be a pain in the ass. But
We
in
have
this
to
case,
find a way to get the bombs out of our heads.
well, if I can get you out of here, I can work on getting the bombs out. I can still walk through or reach through stuff.
You're now reaching in my head.
Nick can do it.
Oh, he's here?
Well, not my Nick. The Nick from here is here.
Popsicle Nick.
At least this one's here is living and breathing.
For now. He keeps messing with the Tyranny Syndicate, probably not for long.
Yeah, but do you really have the Tyranny Syndicate? We're planning on being a pain in their ass, like a royal pain in their ass. Because I didn't come alone. But we need some of the lesser members of the syndicate to be busy elsewhere while we deal with Deathgate and
She says, okay, I'll talk to the others if you can go turn the cells off and get the codes for the bomb. I don't think Professor Ape's going to go for it, though. But I'll try to convince him. I'll talk to him.
Well, how is this? We'll see about getting the bombs out of your heads, no matter what.
Sounds like a plan to me. And Mortis, I'm not going to make you go through the entire act of freeing everybody. I'm going to say that this is a fait accompli for you. You're a ghost. They're prison guards. They're not expecting.
I planned on intimidating them, thinking them to give me the code. So
Yeah, they'd probably just give it to you, thinking that you're the other Derek. So, you are able to set free Project Tyranny, and they are willing to go forth and cause havoc in your name. Do you want to narrate how any of that plays out?
well, my hope is that they kind of break into like 2 or 3 squads, and one will go to Emerald City and cause some havoc. One will go down to someplace on the East Coast and cause some havoc. Somebody down to like Dallas or Texas or whatever. Basically, all kind of spread out so that the current league members have to spread out to go deal with
Shenanigans.
civil unrest.
Domestic terrorism. Shenanigans, whatever they get up to. But yeah, they will split up and they will go forth to do your bidding. Captain Squid gives you a hearty salute, and he does say, "My vessel, the Marion, is trapped down below. If you could get a hold of that, I'd be able to be more effective at this."
Well, I have the guards' passcodes, so and keys. So here you go, and I'll just hand them the keys.
You're a good egg there. What is your name?
Mortis.
Mortis. Not Deathgate.
No. See, yeah, no, not. I'm not 16 anymore, and apparently my version here didn't learn that.
Well, if you ever be looking to join a pirate crew, we're always looking to take on people like you.
Well, I'm sure Daedalus has set up a whole bunch of prisoners in Starhaven, or whatever they call it here, on Europa. You might want to go cause some problems there if you get a chance.
I can do that. That'll be it. Just pull Dr. Daedalus away from the planet so nobody gets to punch Daedalus and get their feelings out. But then Mortis and Nick, you are free to join the rest of the group.
Awesome.
You don't have any plans for Argo or Lady Lunar?
It's probably a horrible idea, but we'll spring them anyway.
That'll cause a problem. Excellent. Argo wastes no time. Once you open the gate, depower the cell, he will just vanish into the crossroads and go off to go cause as much trouble as he can. Lady Lunar is younger than you're expecting, though.
I'm sure she is. This version of Lady Lunar.
Yes. This version of Lady Lunar appears to be in their early 20s. Has a very surly expression on their face.
Oh God.
And
Do
she says in Calvin's British accent, "I can read your mind. I know what you want me to do."
It's a moon accent.
Right.
Moonish.
Alabama.
The Moonited Kingdom.
Yes.
Not Moon Balma.
No, not Moon.
Do I recognize this version? Because I've met.
Yeah, you would have met Alara. You know that this is Alara as Lady Lunar.
Where's your sister at?
I killed her when I took the throne.
Oh God. Why do I always die?
That's
Join the club,
disappointing.
Cat.
Jesus Christ.
That's disappointing.
She was disappointing.
I don't want to play anymore.
But I will go forth and cause as much damage to the Tyranny Syndicate as possible. They have
Let's be
something in
careful.
mind. And she goes
Just
off
be
on
careful.
her quest to get the Moonstone back.
That's a
God
universal
damn it.
constant.
God.
I'm Brand.
Poor Ursa.
I was really
getting
hoping it was actually
murdered.
Ursa.
I know, I was like, wait. Nope.
It's
Same
weird that
old evil tyrant sister.
Every other version of Alara is more successful than Alara, but also somehow worse off. So,
They get that NPC boost.
You know why? It's because Ursa's dead in all these universes
Yep.
and she can't ground her, so
Yeah.
she's just
That's-
evil.
That's exactly where I was gonna go with that.
Always goes Dark Phoenix. Every single universe.
Mortis is like, maybe we should keep an eye on that one when we get back.
Cool. Yeah, we're
They eat Moonanas instead of Mapples.
Bananas.
It's Moonunus. Anyway, Mortis and Nick, you are free to go and join the rest of the gang.
sure. We'll
After
take a long way.
causing a international incident, as many different heroes and villains escape from the prison to go forth and distract the Tyranny Syndicate. But you take the crossroads. You will wind up on the helipad where the Fox plane is landing around the same time that Sophie and Bowman are stepping out of Sophie's portal, which makes a rainbow noise as it appears in the world and disappears with the smell of cotton candy again.
What's a rainbow noise?
Yeah.
It's a high twinkling gliss up the Glockenspiel.
Sandpaper.
I
Yes.
actually knew exactly what sound you were talking about with that one.
It sounds
Just
like
had to-
syrup running down the Glockenspiel, okay?
No.
Sounds like Kevin.
Sounds like Kevin's typing.
Oh, I miss Kev.
Boy.
Break. I was gonna say, did we
So-
break the Alex?
You all arrive at the same time. You guys go do your thing. I'm gonna sit over here.
Looking over at Bowman and Sophie. Were you successful?
Yes, Bogatyr is locked down.
And we didn't get consumed by joy or happiness.
I don't know if that's physically possible for Bowman.
Yeah, Centuria visibly relaxes when she sees both Mortis and Bowman return, and she's like, yeah, we weren't quite worried about that part.
That's good to know. Were the rest of you successful as well?
Actually, yeah. I have a lead for us.
Sweet. I hopefully bought us a little time. I may have freed half a dozen supers that may or may not be villains or heroes in this universe. So I can't quite sure, but all of them don't like the Tyranny Syndicate, so they're gonna cause problems for them.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that'll work. Gatorman has a design that you and I might need to work on, Mortis, to see if we can hide you from Deathgate. But I know where Eldritch went after our fight with Una. Where I know where he went here in this universe. He went to see Toman.
Everybody, sorry about that. The internet gremlins from Genesis decided to crawl into my router and say, "No, you can't go see Toman the Archivist this episode. How dare you?" But we have rejoined our heroes as they have exited their various portals and airplanes to arrive in the Arctic Fox's safe house in Vietnam.
Resident was in the middle of talking to everyone about the lead that she had gotten. Yeah, Toman the Archivist. Both Eldritch and his counterpart from this world, they were there, and then they disappeared.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. But if we're gonna head to Genesis, I don't think we can have Deathgate following us. Gatorman came up with a design that he thinks might work if we can magically camouflage you, hide you from the Soul Vault resonance.
Try it.
I mean, it puts off energy like anything else, so if you trap it or disperse it, it should help. Maybe.
Yeah. Do you know what we would need? Can we see if we have anything around here in the safe house that we can use? Or should this be a mystical binding?
You suspect that you might be able to cobble together something from various bits of scrap material, but you will have to find some sort of magical energy source to power it.
Okay.
And Resonant and Mortis, if you will give me a perception check, we'll see
Certainly.
if there's anything nearby that could
Certainly.
potentially serve as a power source.
35.
That's pretty good.
Ooh. 29.
Excellent. Both of you sort of reach out with your mystical senses, and you are able to detect that there is certainly a mystical site within 20 or 30 miles of this safe house. Looks like it's off in the jungles towards the south from here.
That's odd.
The nature of the magic, Mortis, you are definitely picking up stems from necromancy.
Okay.
And it feels concentrated enough that it might be centered around one object in that area that you're detecting it.
Do you think it's some sort of temple or
Resting place.
That was, yeah.
Arctic
Yeah.
Fox will say that he's not aware of any temples in the area, but he's not taking a lot of looks around for that sort of thing.
Does he have any idea what might be over there?
He looks at you and says, well, it's Vietnam. There was war here.
Do we want to all check it out?
Yeah,
Think
we
so.
should stick together.
If you've created a big enough diversion by freeing the supers, I think we should be okay to travel together for a little bit.
Yeah, it was Lady Lunar. It was not the same as our Lady Lunar.
Okay.
It's actually her daughter, I think. One of the twins we met with Flynn and that arrogant space pirate and crew.
Which one? There were two of them. There were twins.
The aggressive
Remember-
one.
Oh.
The grumpy one.
Where was her sister?
Apparently she killed her.
I didn't get
That's
that. I
barbaric.
didn't get that sense from the one we met that was a
Well, this is also, the alternate universe. So maybe in this universe, she's the one that gets killed. I don't know. And that android that Talos built, the one that has all the powers of the Freedom League.
That's quite the distraction, I would think.
Yeah. Medina had a group of villains as well, so I let her go.
Medea's still here? She's still around?
Yeah, apparently the Derek here kind of was a dictator and dicked her over, so she's out for a little revenge. But yeah,
That seems on point.
that's what I thought. So, but I figured between them, and I asked them to go to Emerald City and Boston and Dallas, and collectively go the 4 different directions and just kind of cause havoc. And figured I'll keep at least Johnny Rocket and some of the others a little busy.
Okay, then let's do this. Let's go. Let's be quick and let's get this done. The sooner we do this, the sooner we can head to Genesis.
Arctic Fox will pull up on his Gauntlet computer. And he'll say, "Oh yeah, he's not Irish."
He can be. For
That's
her
right.
point.
I'm the Irish. I'm the Arctic Fox over here. Just give me a second.
The Irish Fox.
I'm
his
the Irish
cousins.
Fox.
That's right. My name is Vasily Baranov from down Corkway. Everybody knows me. He will say he pulls up his Gauntlet computer. It looks like that Daedalus has taken the bait to go up into space, so that's good news. And the robot you said 3 went straight to Freedom Hall and is currently in the middle of punching Praetrix across the city over and over and over again. And he clips a couple of gifs of Centuria getting punched in the face. We're going to put this on the internet later. Will be good for morale of the revolution.
Okay, then we have a little bit of time, but we can't waste it then.
Okay, let's go. And I will grab the group and I will yank them all through the crossroads and home in on the beacon.
Excellent.
Magical signature.
So yeah, you head to the crossroads. It is about 20 miles away. When you do arrive at this particular location, as you're getting closer, the magical energy is beginning to feel more potent. It is clearly something derived from pain and death and sort of the psychic echo of some disaster that took place here. As you appear out in this clearing of the jungle, sure enough, there is a temple built into the jungle around here that leads up to sort of a swooping arched ceiling. There are a couple of toppled brass statues that look like they depict a number of different beings, including what looks like a fairly large whale and a number of different, almost like wood nymphs, they almost look like. The energy appears to be coming from inside the temple. And immediately it gives off very apprehensive energy. It's very cold. It's very foreboding.
Well, this place is a delight. Resonant says as she kind of clutches the tops of her arms, kind of pulling herself in a little bit closer.
Do we ever go any place pleasant? Doesn't seem so anymore.
Sometimes.
Where we landed seemed nice. This not so much.
Bowman and I went to Evermore. It was all right.
It was a little much.
Well,
Shall we?
Whatever we need's in there. Let's go.
Uh,
Yeah, Bowman
Nick-
doesn't know he missed my musical number with the Muses.
You what?
What? No, never mind. It was the whole thing. I sang a song. They sang backing vocals. It was nice. but I won't say I'm in love because you asked me not to.
Me and Nick should probably take a point, and we'll head on in.
Excellent. Heading up the steps of the temple, Mortis, you can definitely tell that there was some sort of conflict here. Vietnam was 50 years ago. 50 years ago. There is clear
And how's it-
indication of gunshots, of shelling. It looks like some of the temple has been scorched by a flamethrower. And the door that previously closed the space off has splintered in from the outside. Inside the temple, you can see there are a number of skeletons that are all huddled together in various states of panic and despair. But that sort of panic and terror dissipates as the bodies go further back in the temple space. In what looks like where a number of people sort of fell into battle with each other with their bare hands and knives and bayonets and anything they could find. It looks like there may have been people huddled in here for protection, and then somebody broke open the door, killed a bunch of people, but then the whole situation devolved into brutal, close combat. All of that is sort of fanning out concentrically from a vase in the middle of the temple space that is currently floating in the center of this carnage.
Yeah. And no, I probably won't matter, but as a reminder, I do have a passive effect that around me that if there are ghosts or whatever, they can actually be seen by others besides just me. Not to say there is any, but
Well, thank you for reminding me. There are plenty of ghosts in this space. You see most of them are sort of hidden, like hiding themselves from you in the corners of the room, very frightened, curling in on themselves. Some of them are on the ground in the fetal position, just trying to avoid the light and you, and keeping as far away as possible from the vase. And all of you can hear them sort of hushedly whispering to each other in Vietnamese,
Which I understand.
which Resonant understands. Mostly,
These
don't let them
characters
see
always
you.
interesting.
Don't let them see you. Don't let them stay away from the vase. Don't make eye contact. Just stay away from the living. Give me a perception check, Resonant, actually. We'll see, there might be one little piece of information you might be able to get.
27.
With the 27, you hear a couple of people over by the vase saying, perhaps these will be the ones who can take it and set us free.
Mortis, the ghosts here are trapped by the vase.
do I see anything obviously besides it floating in the middle of air? But do I see anything else weird about it? Or any markings on it? Any sigils? Any designs painted into the side of it?
There are a couple of designs in the side of it. Will you give me an occult check? Or a religion check if you have religion? Those are basically the same skill.
I got a rock. I got 13.
Do you want to spend a hero point on it?
I would if I had any.
You have one.
Yeah, one.
Oh, it's not showing on my side. Sorry.
I was quietly giving them out earlier. Sorry, I should have said something.
Well, no, that's fine. It's just like I said, for some reason, roll 20 is there's stealth on my side. So yeah, I'll spend a hero point.
Perfect.
I said my roll 20 was acting up a little bit earlier, so.
Y'all gonna learn some stuff about Vietnamese folk religion today. I bet you didn't expect that when you signed up for our stream.
The more you know.
There goes. You got a 10 on your rerolls.
Ooh, that's like the second best thing you could roll on a reroll, other than 20, because it becomes a 20. So 31. Mortis, you forgot for a moment that you have studied Vietnamese folk religion. and it's sort of coming back to you. And the symbols on this vase seem to depict various icons related to something called Lin, INH, which is the mediating bivalency of the religion. It is basically the balance between disorder and order. The power of an entity in this magical spectrum resides in mediation between order and disorder, finding somewhere in the middle. And this mediating shifts status and function in different contexts. So in some universes, it leans more heavily towards order. In other universes, it leans more heavily towards disorder. The symbols themselves take on a lot of animal motifs. You see a lot of amphibious snakes, owls, bats, and roosters, all animals that exist in two worlds, almost. A bat being half bird and half mammal, an owl who uses the night as its day, snakes being able to go on land and in water, and the rooster who crows at the crack between night and morning. So you're sort of pulling all of this in, and you're noticing that this is an interesting representation of what you all are experiencing currently in this other universe where things are pushed more towards disorder than your universe, but they're of the same description. There's an evil Mortis, there's an evil Resident, an evil Centurion, that sort of thing. And you think that this vessel was powered by an act of barbarity that happened here, but the magical energy passing here makes you think that whatever happened here didn't happen in this Earth, but happened in the Earth that you came from. And it bled over into this dimension. Which is a lot of words to say it's probably dangerous.
Well, yeah, obviously. I will share that with the group. And
Yeah, you know that things like the Lin have been described as having the ability to set up spatial and temporal boundaries. And they can set things apart and they can link together differences. As acts of possibilities by the will of the gods.
so we can definitely use it, I think, or parts of it, or however we use it to shield the soul vault. But the question is, can we do that in a way and sever the tie it has to here, or is that tie to here what's powering it?
Give me an expertise magic check.
Keeping all things in line and centered and balanced, Resident. What do you think?
I can make the check for you. Maybe. There it goes.
It's a little bit more of your.
Yeah, a little bit more my motif. 37, Alex.
With a 37, you get the impression that you could use this vase to power the device that is meant to... You can use it to either conceal Mortis from Deathgate, or you can use it to attempt to separate Deathgate from his soul vault.
We would need Deathgate here to be able...
Yes.
We would need to be in the presence of Deathgate to do that, okay?
Yes, but you do think that the exact nature of this object and the way that it is able to set things apart and link things together and create a boundary between a number of different possibilities, you think that you would be able to construct either a trap for Deathgate or a cloak for Mortis.
Would this also, if it was in the wrong hands, could this also be used against Mortis to do the same thing to Deathgate?
Yes, you think somebody could come to that conclusion if they were to find it.
Okay. I think it'll do what we need it to do, but it depends on what we want to do with it. This is a double-edged sword. If it can do to Deathgate what we want it to do, but it can do the same thing for you, Mortis.
Yep.
Do we want to use
Build
it?
something.
Yeah, do we want to build something that can hurt you? Or do we want to build a cloak to hide you from Deathgate?
Well, my first question is, can we remove it from this location and let these ghosts free?
It's going to be a challenge. I have no doubt about that.
You think it's possible, but it is going to require some magical elbow grease.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to get our hands a bit up in the magic.
Yeah, it's
get it
probably
out.
At least a few hours worth of project for you all.
Okay. It'll be a few hours. Hopefully you've bought us that amount of time to get this thing out of here, get back, and get whatever we're going to construct put together. I would, knowing what I know now, I'd much prefer putting a cloak together for you.
It might be the one way to decouple the soul vault from this Mortis.
I know. But if
If you'd seen what I'd seen in the Crossroads in the Underworld, you would understand my concern.
I do.
I think it's going to become a cosmic level threat before we know it, and a multiple dimension cosmic level threat if we're not careful. He's taken out Hades in this universe.
Okay. The rest of you, what do you think?
I don't think we have a lot of options on how to take this guy out. If we have one, we should probably use it, even if it means we don't have a way to hide.
Centuria? Are you on mute, Cat?
Bingo.
Bingo card.
It wasn't me this time.
Ugh. I've been like creaking in my chair. So I feel like I'm like super loud, so I've been muting myself. But Century, I'll say I agree with Bowman. I don't know that I don't know how strong this Deathgate guy is, but if he's anything like Mortis, he's gonna be hard. So if we have anything that we can use against him, we probably should.
Okay, Gatorman?
He'll kind of look back at Arctic Fox and their crew for a moment and just, I don't think we're here to solve that problem. I think this isn't even from their world, so I don't think I think the intent is to hide him and get us to finish this safely. I don't know that building a possible trap that could also be used on him is the way to do it.
Arctic Fox gives Resonant a knowing look.
But we can't come in, release all of these criminals from their jail, and then leave.
Criminals.
Arco's just a robot. He's not a criminal.
He just has a hate on the tyranny syndicate, which, you need to blame the guy.
Alara's a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying we don't help him, but we're also not here to fix. I don't know if it is fixing it. I mean, make their world like ours. That seems kind of selfish. It's fucked up, but it's their world.
Gatorman looks very dejected about this.
You're not entirely wrong, but we can't leave things just the way they are. if we can do something to help. And it allows us to finish both of our missions, finish our own mission.
Well, then if you guys want to build the trap, we'll do that. I'll see if there's anything I can do to protect Mortis.
Well, the question, I guess, comes down to timing. Do we try to go see the archivist before or after we deal with Deathgate?
If we go see the archivist without building the cloak, we'll draw Deathgate to
So we deal
him.
we deal with Deathgate first. And with that, I will reach out with my grasp that goes to grasps and grab hold of the vase and pull it to me.
It comes straight to you, Mortis. You sort of hold on to the vase, and you can feel, even through your ghostly grasp, you can feel the sort of potential energy coursing there. It feels eager to provide some semblance of balance to your situation. The ghosts around you, when you take hold of this, they all sort of silently and slowly begin to dissipate, breaking apart into this sort of violet purple dust that flows up into the air of the jungle. And the oppressive energy of the temple begins to fade a little bit. Still a place full of corpses, so it's never chill, but it's chiller.
Less unchill.
Yes. The vibes are a little bit better.
All right. Well, that's settled then. Let's go get this built. Let's go deal with this problem and then deal with Eldritch. Or at least
Whatever
we'll
he did.
find out whatever he did here.
Perfect. And with our heroes heading off to another one of the Arctic Fox's safe houses with a potential weapon in their arsenal, I think that is where we will call things this evening. Thank you, everybody who stuck with us tonight, who spent some time with us as we spent our time traveling around the different parts of Anti-Earth to acquire some more information, to have some tense role-playing scenes, and to cause some mischief for the Tyranny Syndicate. Next week, we will continue on our quest to stop Deathgate, and then potentially head off to see Toman the Archivist. We'll see what happens.
Not next week.
Not next
Okay.
week. That's right. We're off next week. If you haven't seen on our website, we are moving to a 3 weeks on, 1 week off schedule for all of our shows. So we're doing 3 weeks. We're taking a week off, then we're doing 3 weeks. This coincides with my Mutants and Masterminds developer Q&As over on the Mutants and Masterminds Patreon. So I will be on the internet next Wednesday, but my wonderful players will have a chance to rest and relax and chill for a week before we come back and deal with this Deathgate fellow. Other news around the network. Calvin, are the Gemstars back next Tuesday? Or are they off Tuesday?
I don't know when our off week is.
Okay.
So
They should be back next week.
Okay. I think
Yeah,
my
I don't think
assumption
it's
is
the
yes.
same as ours. So
It's
It's
just
not
to
supposed to
alternate.
be, yeah.
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 The intention was for not to be the same week. So
Okay,
assume
then
that the
it's-
Gemstars will be back next Tuesday. And if not, I'll let everybody know. I'm aiming to have some blog posts finished, so we have some blog posts available coming up soon. We're putting some fun stuff over on the Patreon here really soon. So if you have not signed up yet, please head over to patreon.com/UntoldStoriesProject, where you can get, right now, a bunch of stat blocks for a couple of different game systems for the one-shots that we ran back during the holiday season. And we will have some stuff related to this show over there as well very soon. Particularly the Anti-Earth Freedom League, the Anti-Earth bad guys, or good guys. This is complicated.
The anti-Earth rebel cell.
Yes, the Anti-Earth Rebel Cell led by the Arctic Fox. I might throw up Operation Tyranny or Project Tyranny as well. We'll see if their stat blocks are noticeably different from the ones in the book. I haven't thought about it yet.
I dropped that on Alex. Sorry.
It's fine. It's cool. And if you do sign up for the Patreon, you are given a hero point that you can give each month to the hero or game master of your choice. If you want to make my life a little easier, I would appreciate it.
No.
It's fine. It's fine if you give it to the heroes. I guess they're cool too. I don't have anything else personally, but I will pass it over to everybody else and have them give them a chance to say goodbye, plug anything they want to plug, and then we'll get out of here for the evening, starting with Kat over there.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I have a blast every time I play with these wonderful people, so I'm just very happy to be here. Look out for new stuff coming on the channel, and watch all Gemstars on Tuesday. And yeah, that's all I have. So Jonesy.
Hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. It was really fun to play Mortis again in awkward Nick conversations. Is it cheating if it's the same as the character's fiance on his home dimension?
You're telling me, my boy.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're telling Tracy, my boy.
Yeah. So
Only you can answer that question.
so yeah, so awkward. Other than that, tomorrow is Thursday, which means our friends over at Green Running Publishing are running Thursdage. They stream that on Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoons, and they're talking about the community content program for Age, which for those of you who may have caught our Fantasy Age adventures that we ran a little while ago, that stuff is eventually going to all end up on the community content program. So might be worth checking out. They'll probably be talking about Fantasy Age Second Edition too, which is what we ran on the stream. So it's pretty cool. With that, I will kick it over to Calvin.
All right. Yeah, this was really I like seeing the alternate Earth stuff. If I had a nickel for every alternate Alara I've seen that managed to be a somewhat successful conqueror, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but I just that it happened twice. But also be sure to come back next week for the next Gemstars game. We're still doing the Gem Pets arc, and we are now encountering somewhat evil versions of the Gemstars, so those might be some interesting combat situations.
Evil doppelgangers everywhere across the universe.
It's rough out here at USP.
Yeah. And additionally, if you're on YouTube, please check out the Women with Ice channel, where we have weekly tabletop RPG podcasts and gaming streams. And yes, I did get married in Skyrim, and I'm flirting with Garrus, and some cool stuff in Gotham Knights as well. Which totally ripped off the Batman at some parts. You'll see if you watch it, you'll see. And with that, I'll pass it to Andy.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're joining us live, we truly appreciate that. If you're joining us on replay or over on YouTube, we truly appreciate that too. Please do the social things of liking and subscribing to the channel so that we can continue to grow and bring all this fun superhero content to you as we do. With that, that's all I've got. We'll pass it over to Deuce.
Howdy. As you said, thank you everyone for watching. If you can't make it live, please do, and you can tell everybody playing why something that seems so wrong feels so right. But that's all we've got. As always, I'll tell you, parents, don't let your kids grow up to play speedsters. It's not good. Back to Alex.
Thank you again, everybody, for hanging out with us. We will be here again in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel. But until then, please be kind to yourselves. Take care of the people that you love. Make sure that you find some time to do something fun, play a game, and we will see you next time.